Hey everybody, it's me, Ian. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I have been watching Soul Eater. I started in July, and I finished it last week or 2 weeks ago. So, what do I think about it? Well, it's really, really good. Like, at one point, I consider this being my favorite anime, but right now it stands at the top three. Next, besides number two, Katara-san, and number one, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So yeah, at the moment, Soul Eater is one of my favorite animes. So let's talk about the main. Let's talk about the story of Soul Eater. Basically, people live in this world. Well, there's a city called Death City, and in Death City there is the DWMA, which stands for I forgot. Yeah, Death Weapon Academy, Death Weapon Meister Academy. I don't know. I forgot. And you have there are like two different types of classes. There are the not classes, and then there are the eat classes. Our main characters are in the eat classes, and our two main characters, Maka Alburn and Soul Eater. They're training to get 99 Kishin souls and one witch soul so that Soul Eater can become a Death Side and be Lord Death's personal weapon. And at like the first episode, they have 99 Kishin souls, and then you think there's like a witch, and then they defeat it, and then they get its soul, but then they realize it wasn't a witch; it was just a cat woman dressed as a witch, and so they had to restart the whole thing. And at the first few episodes, you get introduced to all of the main characters you're going to be seeing. You get introduced to Maka and Soul, and then you also in the next episode get introduced to Tsubaki and Blackstar. And then after that, you get introduced to some of the teachers, and you get introduced to Professor Stein, Sid, Lord Death, Medusa, the nurse. Then you have Lord Death's own son, Death the Kid, and his two partners, Liz and Patty. And the thing about the thing about Kid is he likes everything perfectly symmetrical. So if he were to look into my room right now, he would be having a hissy fit. So yeah, then along the way, well, basically throughout the main story, they're just like there's like an overarching plot with basically this evil group of witches and like other stuff. They not really spoilers, but their main goal is to try to revive the Kishin that lays under the DWMA, and by doing that, they'll like eventually cause havoc in the world, and everyone will go insane. You know. Throughout the series, we get introduced to more characters. There's Excalibur, who is the mighty sword, but if you don't know how to deal with people like him, he can be a little annoying. Then you have other characters such as Nigus, who is introduced in the second half, who's the replacement of the nurse Medusa because something happens with Medusa. And yeah, then we have Krona and Ragnarok, Krona is one of my personal faves. Just because I really like him as a character, and I just really I don't know, I can identify with him, not like the backstory, but like I don't know, I can just identify with him in some sort of ways. I also drew some of the main characters, not to get off topic, but I drew some of the main characters. Here's Soul, and then on the back we have Maka. Then here we have Blackstar, and then on the back we have Tsubaki, and then over here we have Excalibur, and then over here we have Death the Kid, and then Krona and Ragnarok. Yeah. So let's talk about the characters. Maka, she is basically the nerd, and she likes to read books, and she's a Meister. And Meisters are people who hold weapons, and weapons are weapons. are people who can turn into weapons. Think of Noragami, for example. Like no, I mean, Noragami and this are pretty similar. That makes sense. They're made by Bones Productions. They're both made by Bones Productions. And yeah, I'll talk about Noragami later. So you know, um, so yeah, weapons are trying to turn to death sights so they can be Lord Death's personal weapon. And Soul is your laid back kind of guy. He's just, I don't know. He's laid back, and he cares about Maka. And yeah, Black Star is supposed to be an assassin, but with his loud voice and him declaring everywhere where he is and always trying to be the one in lead, can't be much of an assassin with that. Tsubaki's, the quiet, calm person, the one who, despite all of Black Star faults, still cares about him. And yeah, you got Death the Kid, who's just like trying to follow in his father's footsteps, but then having to worry about everything having to be symmetrical. Fun fact: 8 is his favorite number because it's symmetrical, because you gotta split it all the ways. And Liz and Patty, they were formerly they were street thugs until Death the Kid came along and perfected them. And Liz is sort of you're just her English voice actor is actually Panty from Panty and Stocking. So now I can't get that out of my head. A lot of the voice actors here share a lot of similarities with other voice actors. Well, I mean that's common, but there was just a little too many. I mean, fucking Lord Death himself was fucking Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm like, okay. And there's just like fucking Maka's father, Spirit, is fucking Vic, who is fucking Edward Elric, and I'm just like, I can't get that out of my head. And then Death the Kid, Todd Habercorn, and I'm like, come on. That's Ling from Fullmetal Alchemist. That's Nagasumi from My Bride is a Mermaid. That's fucking Italy from Hetalia. That's who else? That's Judar in fucking Magi. Like, come on, he's fucking Mario in Attack on Titan. Come on, can't get this fucking Gatorade to open. There we go. So yeah, let's talk about what I like in the story. So I really like all the characters. My favorites would probably have to be Krona, Erica, who is a frog witch, and Ashra, who is the Kishin that is underneath the DWMA that Lord Death had to like seal away with his own skin. And I just really like Ashra as a character. Like later on in the series, he gets like a little bit more development, which is really good in my book. I really like villains, as you can tell, because all of my picks are technically villains. Krona, Erica, and yeah, Ashra. I just really like them. And then what else? I like the story. Like it's one of those like continuative narrative stories. Overarching plot. It reminded me a lot of Fullmetal Alchemist. A lot of things remind me of Fullmetal Alchemist in this. I don't know. I just can't stop comparing it to it because they came out at similar times, and they're both made by Bones Productions. And yeah, but see, now there's a difference. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was a remake of the 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist, and it basically told the story as truthfully from the manga. Soul Eater, on the other hand, is more like Fullmetal Alchemist 2003, in which this one kind of has its own story and differentiates from the manga at some point. So, a lot of us were hoping, or I'm hoping at least, that the next series be Soul Eater Brotherhood, where they kind of make it more faithful to the manga. Because I've seen some stuff about the manga, and I think there are some choices that they made in the manga that maybe they would have done, maybe they should have done in the anime. And yeah, um, so Soul Eater Brotherhood, yeah, and yeah, what else did I like? The animation's really good. Story's good. It's well written, well paced. Really like a lot of the characters. A lot of the characters are memorable and funny, or you know, Krona especially. Like, my God, Krona. um, so yeah, what didn't I like? Medusa's a fucking bitch. Like, no spoilers, but Medusa's a fucking bitch. She's a fucking witch. So yeah, that's about that. Yeah. So, um, let me talk about Soul Eater Not real quick. That is a spin-off series, and it has nothing to do with the main story of Soul Eater. It just provides a little bit of background knowledge on some of the characters, but it mainly follows three other girls. Um, What's Her Face, What's Her Face, and What's Her Face. What's Her Face number one is a new girl, and she's moving into Death City for the first time to train to become a weapon. And she meets two girls. What's her name number two and what's her name number three. What's her name number two has a lot of memory issues. What's her name number three is a princess. And freaking like freaking mystery girl number one on her way up the stairs, she just like runs into Maka, and she thinks she's like so cool, so she like puts her hair in pigtails just like Maka. I'm like, what is this? And then the whole series is like hinting at the fact that they might be lesbians, and then you got other characters coming in like fucking what's her name and what's her name, Jacqueline and Kim, who were like in the first series, but they get more development here. To be honest, I like them a bit more in here. And Liz and Patty also get some backstory. It shows what they were like before they met the kid. And to my shock, to my demise, there was no Krona or Erica or Ashura in here. And there was little Death the Kid, who is like my fourth favorite. There's like none of him. There's like two scenes in the whole show of the whole 12 episodes that Soul Eater Not runs for. He's just fucking like, he just runs into Mystery Girl number one, just like, wait a second, I can fix this. I can fix this. There, perfect symmetry. My job here is done. And then at the fucking like last episode, he's just like, Liz, Patty, get your asses over here right now. You're not symmetrical. What the fuck? Yeah, and they show some things with Sid, and then there's like a new bad guy, and then there's a guy who's voiced by who has the same voice actor as Kirito, which was very, very hard to not hear. But yeah, Soul Eater not as good as Soul Eater, cause it's not Soul Eater. It's Soul Eater not. It's not as good, and it's not as entertaining. It has a certain naughtiness, I know. I really liked it though. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. For it being Soul Eater not, and being a side series, a spin-off, a prequel even, to give just a little more screen time to some of the background characters. And yeah, so I would give Soul Eater not probably a 7 out of 10, and for Soul Eater itself, I would give that a 9 out of 10. So yeah, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, why not consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.